Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United with another cheeky little video for you. This is a preview and just general little chit-chat, team news, predictions, all the rest of it for the game tomorrow, Brighton versus Manchester United from the Amex. What's going on, everyone? Thank you for joining us and waiting patiently for us to get going. We are live 5 minutes late. Apologies for that, but welcome aboard the Bacon Express, everyone. Thank you to everyone who's in the chat. Scott, Berserker, Slur Jim Ratcliffe, Berserker again there, JK, John Boy, Scott, Rory, the Hoop Man, Mikhail Kramer, Mr. Leo G, Tarek, Kate Cadet, who else we got? United Forever, Pete Morris. Everyone, I just want to say thank you at the start of this show to Berserker for becoming a member of the channel right at the start of the show before we've even got going. And he's just gifted a membership away as well, which has gone to Pete Morris. Shout out to you, Mr. Berserker. Let's go. Get your favourite Bacon Brigade emoji in there to welcome in Pete Morris and to say thank you to Berserker. Thank you very much for kicking off this show raw, lad. Get in there, my son. And welcome in everybody else as well. Rajat V, Tariq M, Dublin, Griffo Chaz, Johnny, Craw, how are you, sir? Counter Debate, Vincent Bullock, let's go. Conroy Schuller, Pete Morris, Dublin, Philip Chapman, Bob Barker, Red Devil Dave, Berserker. Thank you very much for that, Berserker. That's bloody awesome, man. Do us a favour at the start of this show then. Smash that like button on this video right at the start of the preview. That'll help us out. Give us a boost up on the algorithm and all that jazz. So smash that like button if you haven't done so. Drop a little thumbs up. Give us a share around as well if you're that way inclined. We have tweeted it out on Twitter. I don't have the link for you right now. Maybe one of the mods could grab it. But give us a little cheeky little retweet if you haven't done so. That'd be awesome. Nice one. So we got a bit to get into, guys, in terms of the team news and what Ten Hag's been saying and the presser and all that sort of stuff. So we'll kick things off with, you know, Ten Hag's words before the game. Obviously, he's done a little cheeky presser. By the way, Liverpool and Man City. Oh, my God. So Liverpool have won tonight against Fulham, which 1-0, yeah. Shit off, you hairy dog's bollock, to Liverpool. And Manchester City as well. Damn you. Beating West Ham 3-0. They go top of the table again right now. I'm disgusted. I was hoping they would lose. So I was hoping they'd draw or something. But no, looks like Arsenal were just going to melt off into second place and City are going to steamroll it for the last 5 games of the season, doesn't it? Piss poor. Erling Haaland scored a record-breaking 35th Premier League goal as well. The big Norse Ghostbusters 2 painting-looking mug. You know what I mean? So I'm pissed off, guys. But anyway, there you go. Enough about that. We don't want to mention those scumbags. But I just wanted to talk about it because they were playing this evening. Those are the final results. 1-0 to Liverpool, 3-0 to City. What a bunch of fucking absolute undeserving pricks. Anyway. Yeah, Haaland's not human. You're right. He's not. He's a Norse ghost, mate. He should be getting caught in a little contraption by Bill Murray and pigging Ivan Reitman and pigging Dan Aykroyd. Never mind, never mind playing football in the Premier League, mate. It's very annoying. He is obviously a great player. 35 goals. Fuck that guy. We're not talking about these City scummers. But yeah, another goal for him. 35 goals. He has broken the record for all-time Premier League goals in a season now. Scumbag. Zayn Miyasi, how you doing, Zayn Miyasi? Oh, Zayn Miyasi. Zayn Miyasi, thank you for the $9.99 super chat, lad. Let's get a hell yeah in there for Zayn Miyasi. He says, if Arsenal win the league, or come second, I reckon we could get Messi and Ronaldo, who are both leaving and want to play in London. Oh. What the fuck? Are you serious? Am I having to do this already, mate? Am I having to do this already, guys? What the... Fucking red card, mate. Straight red. That's not even a yellow for Zayn Miyasi. That's a straight fucking red card off the bat there, mate. Are you taking a piss? What sort of absolute... what sort of cuff comment is that? Ronaldo and Messi. Zayn Miyasi, please stop doing crystal meth, man. It's not good for you, mate. It's really starting to affect you in a really bad way, Zayn. I mean, I'm not even going to respond to that statement, really, but other than to give you a straight red. Because, I mean, it's just preposterous. There's no way. Messi's just pissed off to Saudi Arabia on holiday for a couple of weeks, mate. That's why PSG have suspended him, and he's leaving at the end of the season. He's going to Saudi blatantly. He's getting 600, 700, 900k a week or whatever to go play in the Saudi league. Play with a bunch of fucking camel herders against Cristiano Ronaldo as well. You know, it's going to be the Messi Ronaldo league, mate. Blatantly, that's what's going on, Zayn. He's not going to Arsenal Hollands. What's the matter with you? And Cristiano Ronaldo's got a contract. That's not going to happen. He would never go to the shithouse Arsenal Hollands in a million years. Anyway, enough of that. absolute nonsense and tripe from Zane at the start of the show. Straight red. Get the red card emoji in the live chat. I'm sickened. You're off your tits, bud. Berber, what's going on? Thank you for being a 40-month member. Guys, let's get a hashtag 40 in the live chat for Don Berber. Hope you're keeping well, you legend. Thank you so much, mate, for being a member for 40 months. That is seriously mad. You and Griffo Chaz and a couple of others, I think the only people who have been 40 months Dons. 40 months, a legend. Mr. Berber, let's get a 40 in there. Thank you, bro. He says, don't do drugs. You'll end up like Zane. Could be even worse, you know, could be even worse, because let's face it, Zane Miassi, for all his crystal methamphetamine intake, is actually, you know, he seems to be, he's able to super chat 9.99s here and there. You know, he's obviously got a bit of backing. I'm starting to think he might be Jesse Pinkman or something. It's possible, you know. I don't know, but whatever it is, this guy's off his tits. Berber, thank you very much. I agree. Don't do drugs, kids. Drugs are bad, okay? You end up like Zane Miassi, okay? Don't do it to yourself, guys. He's obviously not right. That's all I'm saying. Thank you, Game Instant, for getting in here with a 5-month membership as well. Double member. Let's get a hashtag 5 in there. Thank you, Game Instant. He says, melt Yassi. Something wrong with this guy, isn't there? He's piped up again here, for Pete's sake. Zane Miassi, will you just put a sock in it, lad? He's... $9.99 super chat from Zane Miassi again. Thank you, Zane. He says, Haaland's value bigger than budget of next Avatar movie, says Zane Miassi. That probably does make sense, actually, because I'd imagine that the next Avatar movie is going to be absolutely guff, mate. Don't watch that tripe, guys. You know what I mean? Don't watch that absolute guff. Who wants to see blue people living on a planetoid, mate? You know, and getting, I don't know, some sort of extraterrestrial threat from beyond. You know, if you want to see that, just watch Chelsea this season. You know what I mean? They're absolutely awful, and the outcome will probably be the same. It'll all end in tears, mate. So, yeah. Zane Miassi, whatever, mate. You know, Haaland's value, who cares what Haaland's value is? He's probably not going to go anywhere, is he? He's a Man City scummer. His dad used to play for them as well. He's just happy at City. They've got Pep. They've got all the money. The only way I could see really Erling Haaland going from Manchester City at this stage is if what should happen happens, which is he goes because Manchester City have had all of their league titles taken from them. They have been docked many points. They have been even relegated into League Two for cheating and just generally not playing by the book of financial fair play and essentially gaining an unfair advantage on all of the opposition teams that are playing in the league. You know, if that happened, then maybe you could see this twat going elsewhere. But anyway, whatever, Zane. No, we don't even care about him and his value. He's just a City scumbag. Zane, thank you for the super chat. That's going to be a yellow card for you there, sir. You know, you've had a red. You can't even give a yellow card after you've given a straight red, but I'm giving you one, mate. There you go. Zane Miassi with another super chat. Fucking hell, I'm trying to do a preview here, mate. Zane Miassi with a $1.99 super chat. He says, did you see our masterpiece against Chelsea? I didn't watch it, Zane Miassi. If I wanted to watch two pub teams play, I'd go down the local park on a Sunday, mate, watch the Dog and Duck versus the Shoulder of Mutton. You know what I mean? I don't want to fucking watch that level of guff. And just the fact you beat Fat Frank Lampard's Chelsea, I mean, that's about as impressive as James Cameron's latest Avatar movie, mate. A bitter disappointment, sir. A bitter disappointment. You know, so I don't really know what you're talking about, to be honest, Zane. I didn't watch it, and I would never watch that. It's a pub game. Anyway, right. Guys, do us a favour at the start of this preview. We're going to get into the preview now. Smash that like button on it. Give us a thumbs up and welcome into everyone to the channel. Who haven't I shouted out? Let's see. Marco, how are you? The Hoop Man, let's go. Boomy, what's going on? Jarvis Cocker, how you doing, lad? Claire King, what's going on, Claire? Hope you're good. Lemonhead, Wessex Mercia, V2 plus 10, Super Fat Frank, and everybody else as well. Thank you so much for getting in here. Very much indeed. Appreciate you all. Okay, yes, so guys, let's talk about it. Manchester United are playing Brighton tomorrow, not a pub team. Brighton are actually decent this season, aren't they? They're in 8th place at the moment, but they've got a few games in hand on the teams above them. So this is a huge game for Brighton, just to talk about them. We bested them the other day in the FA Cup semis. It took penalties for us to do that. It was a very tight game. They're a good side, and they've proven it this season. They are in 8th place. They're 3 games in hand on Villa, Tottenham and Liverpool. So if you look at them winning those games, they would actually go into 5th place or tied points with Liverpool if they win those 3 games. Man United, obviously, tomorrow need to make sure that doesn't bloody well happen with a good positive result and game against them. You know, it's very much not an easy game right now at all, just because, well, we've had a lot of fixtures coming up very quick and often with lots of strain on the squad. We've had a few injuries as well, which has been a big concern. But in terms of just like, do we win the game? Do we draw the game? Do we lose the game? I think we're going to draw. I do. I think it's going to be a tough game away at Brighton Stadium tomorrow. I don't know why. They're no mugs, are they? And we're not exactly setting the world alight lately. So I'm just feeling like we're going to draw. There you go. I said it there, guys. What do you think, guys? Win, lose, or draw for Manchester United tomorrow? Get your votes in the live chat. Zamiasi, thank you very much for the $1.99 super chat here, Zamiasi. Come on. Give me a hell yeah in the chat then for Zano. He says, Brighton win, Piggy meltdown. Well, that's what you think, Zane. I personally think it's going to be a draw, actually. 2-2 says Wessex. You think a draw 2 says Jay. 2-2 says Scott. Win says Marco. 1-1 says Lemonhead. Win says Vincent. United win says Mikhayu. 3-1 says Marco. Lose says Counter Debate. Lose, sorry. Consensus says Berber. 4-0 United says Duncan. Hey, Spooky Gore, how you doing? Welcome in the stream. Rajat V says W, we have to. Okay, but look, all I'm going on is basically our recent form's not been sensational. Brighton's recent form's been, well, just as sort of good as ours, really. They're a good side. They're no mugs. They proved, in fact, in that last game. If you just look at the last game of football we played against Brighton in the FA Cup semis, they were very good. They were very astute. They played well. They had just as many good chances as us, really. I think we did slightly outplay them a little bit in terms of chances created. But De Gea had to make a few fantastic saves. It was a little bit ropey at times. Their keeper also made a few fantastic saves. It was one of those games. It was just absolutely razor close. So tough to really separate the two teams. And the difference now is that it's not at a neutral venue, i.e. Wembley. It's at their stadium. It's at the Amex. So just in terms of them having a slight advantage this time around, maybe that'll be the case. Plus, we are going for top 4. There's obviously everything to play for here, but there's everything to play for Brighton as well. They're trying to get into Europe. They've got a few games now. They know if that they win those few games, they can get into Europe, and that'll be huge for a club like Brighton. And they're a good side this season, clearly. So I think that it's a tough game, this one, 50-50 in my opinion. Away on the road, I would like to think that United will have the superiority with the players we've got out there to be able to get the job done. It doesn't really work like that, football, and they're a good team, a well-oiled unit, and they'll be pissed off about losing to us on penalties. It literally came down to one kick is what separated Manchester United and Brighton in that FA Cup semi, and so therefore they'll have a little bit between their teeth. They'll have something to prove and a little bit of redemption. So I think it's going to be a really tough game, guys. I'm going for a 1-1 draw. Let's get your score predictions in the lineup then, guys. But I'm going for, in the live chat, I'm going for a 1-1 draw. Yeah, don't want to be too negative, too pessimistic, but that's what I'm feeling. Zamiasi, thank you for the $1.99 super chat here, Zamiasi, again. He says, why Real buy Jude and sell Odegaard? Odie is better. I mean, I don't know really, to be honest with you, Zamiasi. Probably because he's actually bang average. I mean, he is decent. He has had a decent season, but it's once again Arsenal fans sort of overinflating their players' quality. Next, you're going to tell me Granit Xhaka's one of the best midfielders in the league. He's had a good season, but is he actually one of the best in the league? I don't think he is, mate. You know, I just think it's classic Arsenal Hollands. The same people that said Jack Wheelchair was going to be the best English midfielder of all time. You know, it's the same Arsenal egomaniac melters. It's the same Prats who just a few weeks ago thought they were going to win the league. And I've been telling you all season long, Zane, that you are going to melt at the end of the Premier League campaign and allow City to just steamroll you out of the way into second place. I've been telling you that. You've not really believed me, but that's what's happened because, let's face it, Arsenal fans are straight delusional. So, yeah, no, sorry to say, mate, but Jack Wheelchair's bang average as well. Anyway, thank you, Zamiasi, for that. Right, let's get your score predictions in, guys. Let's see what you're saying. 2-1 says Flip Chapman to United. 4-0 says Vincent Bullock. 3-0 to tomorrow says Kieran. Mr. Leo G thinks it's going to be 3-1. JK's going for 1-1 as well, same as me. Ever the realist. That's the problem. It's a tough game, this one. United 3-0 says Dublin Games. Dick Dastardly's going for 3-1 to Brighton, lad. 3-0. 2-0 says Mikhail Kramer. 1-0 says Johnny. You think a 1-1 draw as well, Chris Koo? Same as me, Chris Koo, yeah. I know, it's not like we're being super negative. It's actually a realistic possibility for that game to finish in a draw. They're fighting for their place in Europe. They're a good team. They're at home. We played them the other day and it was razor close. I see it being quite a similar game of football, to be honest. 2-2 says Pascal Scholten. The Hoopman says 3-1. Madhouse is going 2-1 to United. 5-0 says Rajat. Voot hat-trick. 1-1 says Pete Morris, same as me. Nuts going 1-1 as well. Brighton can beat anybody this season. I agree with you, Nut. No mugs at all, are they? Boomy says 1-0 to United. Kieran's going 3-0 to United. Griffo's going 1-1 as well, same as me. Okay, let's get into a couple of things that's been said then before the game. So, Ten Hag has been speaking to the press, and he's given us a few updates in regards to the team lineup and just some thoughts on the run-in. And this is what he had to say in regards to us getting top 4. So I still think we're going to get top 4. Liverpool won tonight. They're probably our closest challengers. We've got to play Brighton. Brighton will have to win all 3 games in order to catch up Liverpool on 59 points. Aston Villa, good side. We beat them the other day. That was a very close game as well. They're a good side, but just think it's probably more likely for Brighton and Liverpool to finish slightly higher than Aston Villa at this moment in time. So I'm calling Liverpool 5th, Brighton 6th, Aston Villa 7th for the remainder of this season's games and finishing there. Manchester United, I think, will get 4th place. I think Newcastle's going to finish quite strong. They're a decent side under Eddie Howe at the moment. I do think top 4's safe. But we've got to win at least a few of these next remaining games, don't we? If not nearly all of them. So we've got 6 games left. This is what Ten Hag said. He says, I never speak about top 4. He says, I never speak about if scenarios. Not negative. Thank you, A, for subscribing to the channel, by the way, mate. He says, I never speak about if scenarios, not negative, not positive. Focus on the game tomorrow. Don't dream. Stay in the same focus as others. You have to improve every game. Good is not good enough. We have to do better. I mean, I love those words from Erik ten Hag. Yeah, he's right. Let's not get too carried away. Nothing is to be taken for granted here for Manchester United. Top 4 is still not safe. And I won't believe top 4 is safe until it's safe, because I know this United side, although better under Erik ten Hag, and although it's a better team, there's a few players missing. We have it in our locker to absolutely melt a game or two between now and the end of the season. We just do. And Brighton away could be one of those games. It's a tough game. The reason I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw is not just because Brighton are a good side and we played them the other day and struggled, but because we don't really have everybody fit and available. We do have some issues, particularly in the back line, which we'll get into in a little bit. But Ten Hag keeping it real in regards to top 4. He just says, look, don't even think about the ifs at the moment. Focus on the game tomorrow against Brighton. And then in regards to the last sort of 6 games in the run-in, Ten Hag said, I never want to talk during the season of pride or satisfaction. You know my statement, satisfaction leads to laziness. We have 6 games to go, and every game we want to win. Therefore, you need to full focus, full energy, full preparation. So there you go. He's pretty clear, really. He doesn't want to sort of get too carried away or get ahead of himself here. Just wants to focus on the next coming games, get them won, get that top 4 secured, and then we can celebrate top 4. And even then, the season's not over, because we've got a matter of an FA Cup final coming up against those cheating, shitty scumbags, which we will be focusing on very, very soon. But let's not even focus on that just yet. Like Ten Hag says, we've got to think about these games in the Premier League. First of all, get top 4, secure that, and then we can sort of just relax a little bit in terms of knowing that we'll have Champions League football next season, which is the bare minimum for what we need next season, regardless of who our owners are, regardless of what's gone on this season, last season. Top 4 is a must every single year for Manchester United for us to be competing in the Champions League. So that needs to come first, obviously. In regards to a bit of team news then, folks, from Erik ten Hag, he's just given us a couple of updates in regards to, players that are still out missing. Players like Rafael Varane, McTominay, Lisandro Martinez. We know that, of course, Lisandro Martinez is out for the remainder of the campaign. Just on McTominay and Varane, I mean, it's no big issue anyway, because let's face it, McTominay's gash. Rafael Varane is a big loss for us right now, to be fair, because we're having to play a makeshift defence of what is essentially a Frey Bentos pie-loving left-back at centre-back alongside a Swedish flat-pack IKEA fitter. That's a big problem. But I must say, just a special shout-out, actually, to our pie boy and our IKEA boy, because they have been sensational the last couple of games. Literally, Luke Shaw just puts Harry Maguire to shame in terms of centre-back abilities. He's not even a centre-back. He's a left-back who's been chucked in at centre-back. He's never really put a foot wrong at centre-back, old Lukey Shaw. He's doing brilliant. Give him 2 Frey Bentoses tomorrow after the game, Erik ten Hag, if he has another good game. Because he deserves it. He's playing some good football. He's playing some good stuff. Solid stuff for us at the back there. Considering he's sort of been flung in there and he's not a centre-back by trade, I'd say that he's done absolutely amazing Luke Shaw has. So let's get a round of applause in there for Luke Shaw, guys, for his adaptation that he's been able to show by going in at centre back there. Let's also get a in the live chat, a shit emoji maybe, for Harry Maguire, who's been put to shame by Luke Shaw. Just the fact that Harry Maguire can't get in the Piggin team, even though Varane and Martinez are both out injured, is a disgrace and a nonsense, to be honest. Roy Keane would be throwing punches at Harry Maguire if he could, because he's that bad. I mean, this is an £80 million turd of a man who's come in here and he can't even get in the team when our first two centre-backs are out. So that's how bad he is and how much he's slipped down the pecking order. It just ever increases the likelihood that he's going in the summer, though, which is all we can really hope for. But yeah, enough about that twat. Luke Shaw has been doing really well. Luke Shaw's been doing brilliantly and deserves a lot of praise. As does man of the match in the last game, I think, against Villa. Victor Lindelof was absolutely sensational in the last game. He's had a couple of really good games. Perhaps it's not really as clear-cut as to say, oh, Lindelof's shit. Lindelof's pretty decent, to be fair to him. He's good. I think he's looked bad over the years alongside a human breeze block in Slabo Maguire there. Anybody would look bad next to him. You could get bloody Beckenbauer next to Harry Maguire. He's going to look like his name's Becky Bauer. Do you know what I mean? He would look gash. You get anybody, get Maldini in there. He'll turn into fucking Smaldini. You know, he won't be good. He won't be as good playing alongside Harry Maguire. I think that's fair to say about anybody, because Harry Maguire is kind of like a disease at Manchester United. You know, he kind of just he's not good, guys. And he will literally, you can contract that disease if you play alongside him. You know, especially the people in direct contact with him. You know, it's like some sort of COVID situation whenever you got Harry Maguire playing for it. You've got to keep your 2 meters distance from that twat all the time. Look at David De Gea. He's got Maguire playing in front of him. Anytime Maguire plays in front of De Gea contracts that disease and turns into an absolute floppy melter. But any time that De Gea's not got Harry Maguire in front of him, he's got somebody else who's actually decent in front of him, he feels that solidity. He feels that confidence. Confidence breeds confidence. And therefore, De Gea doesn't shit the bed. But anytime Harry Maguire is in front of him, he seems to shit the bed. So, listen, we don't want to see Maguire anywhere near the lineup tomorrow. That's the point I'm making here. Stick with what we've seen in recent weeks with Lindelof and Luke Shaw playing centre-back. But anyway, so let's give you a bit of an update on the players. Sorry, I got distracted there, slagging off the slab. But he says this in regards to McTominay and Varane. Ten Hag said, the prognosis, I think Rafa is closer than Scott McTominay in this moment. But they are, for the coming 2 games, Brighton and West Ham, they are not available. So in case you wondered, Varane's still definitely not out for not going to be featuring. He's still out for a couple of games. And Scott McTominay is out for a couple of games as well, at least. No bother. Doesn't really bother me that much about Scotty. Obviously, we could do with Rafael Varane back, but only when he's really 100%. We don't want to rush him too back. He's just such an injury-prone melter. Also, in regards to Alejandro Garnacho, just call my name, Alejandro. Just call my name, Garnacho. Alejandro Garnacho is not available for the game tomorrow either, guys. So here's a little update from Ten Hag. He did just sign a new 5-year deal, which is fantastic. Get in there, Alejandro Garnacho. But in regards to the team news, he said, I think we have 1 training session, but I think it's too soon to be available. He said, I think he is short of full fitness. I think he needs some training. And then, in short notice, he will be available. So pretty soon. I think that really means that maybe by the West Ham game, maybe the game after next, or very soon at least, he will be back and available to play for the team. And he's just signed a new contract, and he will be a good youth player that's available for us. So get in there. He's had a great season, Alejandro Garnacho. Let's hope he stays grounded and keeps working hard. He's just signed a new 5-year contract at Manchester United. Get in there. That's obviously big. And I'm very happy with that, guys. But yeah, he won't be available for the game tomorrow, which is a shame. There's no point rushing back, I agree. By the way, guys, we've got 136 legends in here and 83 likes. You what? Bacon Brigade, assemble. Hit that like button. Let's get 100 likes on this preview video. That would be awesome. Please do smash that like on it if you haven't done so. Give us a share around on social media as well. That'd be awesome. And have your say throughout. We do dip in and out of the show in the chat to see what you legends are saying throughout. But we do have a big Q&A at the end as well. So stick around to the end as well. We'll have a big Q&A. Yeah, I know. McKay says, oh, damn, I was hoping he would be on the bench for Brighton. I know. Well, he might be. I mean, look, Ten Hag said there, he says, I think we have 1 training session, but I think it's too soon. He says, I think it's too soon. He doesn't say it's definitely too soon like he did with McTominay and Varane. So just in regards to whether or not this guy could be playing, I think it's a very much unlikely. But for the next game, I think he will be featuring. But anyway, I guess that takes us on to the lineups and what could potentially be coming out tomorrow for the team lineup tomorrow. Let's have a look and see what Ten Hag's got to play with. So this is my prediction, what Ten Hag's going to select tomorrow. Now, there obviously could be some big differences here. We've seen him play Bruno Fernandes out of position recently to good effect. We've seen him play deeper. We've seen him play on the right, like the last game. And also, Sancho's been a bit shite lately, so maybe you could see him even play on the left again. But this is the team lineup that I've gone with that I think Ten Hag going to select tomorrow. So we've got David De Gea in goal. Sort of picks himself, really. Malacia coming in at left back. Also picks himself because Luke Shaw is much needed at centre back. We don't want to see Luke Shaw put out on the left back spot and then have to play that human wardrobe, Slabby Maguire, at centre back. That would be an absolute colossal melt up. So we definitely don't want to see that. So Luke Shaw gets in at left side of centre back again alongside Victor Lindelof. Don't see any need to change that. Those two have looked really decent together in recent weeks. And certainly in the last game, those guys performed to a very high standard indeed, both of them. And particularly Victor Lindelof, who was absolutely exceptional and probably got my man of the match. So respect to him. I've gone for Aaron Wan-Bissaka coming into this game instead of Diogo Dalot, just because it's the Spider. We're away from home and up against Matoma on that side, and just very difficult game for whoever will be there. But Aaron Wan-Bissaka's got that defensive one-on-one ability to just pluck the ball from the opposition, and he's defensively solid as you like. So I've gone with Aaron Wan-Bissaka. And then in the central midfield, yeah, you could see Sabi, you could even see Bruno deeper, but I think he'll just go with his tried and tested Casemiro and Eriksen, at least for 65 minutes, and then probably make a change and get some fresh legs on for Eriksen, who runs around like an absolute bat out of hell. So Casemiro and Eriksen starting in the midfield, I think. And then in front of them, I've gone with Jadon Sancho on the left, only because, well, we don't have that many options available to us right now, and we want to get a result against Brighton. Sancho, he needs a big game, doesn't he? It's not like he was terrible in the last game, but we've seen a good few games from him lately, and all of them have been pretty bang average. Like, we went through the player ratings at the end of the last stream, the watch-along, and I sort of felt like if anybody didn't have that great of a game, it was Jadon. Not that he had a bad game. I think I gave him a 5.5 out of 10 or something, but that was the lowest rating out of any of the players on the pitch against Villa, because everybody performed pretty decent, you know, certainly to a better standard than that. And Sancho was just okay. He was just okay. He didn't really do all that much. He was kind of ineffective. He needs to step up. He needs a big kick up the goalies and to try and, you know, do a bit better really and make an impact. So I've gone with him though. Give him a chance. Bruno Fernandes in the hole goes back to his familiar position. He was playing out wide right last time. There was no Anthony, but Anthony did come on for the latter part of the game as a substitute. So that makes me believe that he will start in this game against Brighton on the right-hand side. So Bruno Fernandes in the middle, our Portuguese Magnifico. He's been in great form lately, to be fair, and he's been doing the business for us. So no doubts, no concerns with Bruno Fernandes. Just hope he has another good game for us. And Anthony on the right, who has had a much better sort of 4 weeks or so at Manchester United than the previous 4 weeks. He was good. Really good, in fact, in some of the games we've seen from him. So I hope that he comes back with a bang and has a really good performance. That leaves one position up top to go with, which is Marcus Rashford starting at number 9. He's not the ideal choice for number 9, but he does stretch the opposition. He's got that pace. He gets well in behind. He gets in behind in almost every game you see him. He's not the most clinical when he gets there, but he gets in behind. He gets one-on-one multiple times in every single game he plays at number 9. He stretches the opposition with his pace. He can go wide if you need him to go wide. You know, he's a very good player, and he's had a fantastic season for us. He's not an out-and-out number 9. He's better off at left wing, but just with who's fit and available right now, us not having a proper striker, us only really being able to call upon the likes of Wout Weghorst, who's absolutely fantastic, and Tony Martial, who's farcical. You know, it doesn't really fill us with that much confidence. So I've gone with Rashford up top again. There you go. So I think this is what Ten Hag's going to select. Who knows? There could be differences. Like I say, Bruno could be dropping deeper. You could see Sabitzer play in the hole. You could see Bruno play out on the left side with Anthony on the right. And you could see Sabitzer or Eriksen play in the middle. You could see something slightly different. But just got a feeling this is what's going to be the lineup from Ten Hag. What do you think about that? Let's get a look in the live chat and see what's going on. Yeah, Sing Games says, oh yes, I forgot Casemiro's available. Beast. Sing Games, how you doing? Yes, mate. Hope you're doing good, bud. Yeah, you know, he's available. He's got to play. He's not looked sensational since he's sort of come back into the side, but he is solid. He's going to give you that solidity all the time. And I do expect a big game from Casemiro tomorrow, actually. Sonic Quantum, thanks for your comments. Says, Pig, you worried about top 4? Not going to lie, Liverpool's recent win streak annoys the hell out of me. I'm not really worried about it. What are we, still 7 points ahead of those twats? We've just got to make sure we win the majority of our games. I believe Liverpool will crumble a game or two between now and the end of the season. You know, I'm not really expecting us to lose that many. We could probably lose 1 or 2 ourselves. But because of that, I think, yeah, Liverpool have got it in them to melt. They've melted quite a few times this season. They're finishing quite strong. You know, they have gone on a bit of a better run. If we look at the league table, they're in 5th place now. You know, they have managed to do that, which is obviously gives them a chance of getting top 4. But they've played a couple more games than us, mate. So that's key. We've got a couple of games in hand on these guys. We've got 6 games left. They've got 4. They'd have to win all of their last 4 games and hope that Manchester United bottle a couple of our games. If we lose tomorrow against Brighton, it blows everything wide open. But unless that happens, I don't think we have too much to worry about in regards to Liverpool snatching top 4, I don't think. We've got 2 games in hand. As long as we get a point against Brighton, that will put us 5 points ahead of Liverpool with still a game in hand on those melts. Brighton have 3 games in hand on Liverpool. And if they win all of their games, they'll actually go above Liverpool, won't they? They'll actually go above Liverpool so they'll go above Liverpool if they win all their games in hand. So they've got a big incentive to try and beat us tomorrow. Obviously, they're looking for European spaces. So it's not easy. Villa will probably melt out. Tottenham will definitely melt out. It's between, I kind of think Liverpool and Brighton will finish 5th and 6th this season. And I think Manchester United is safe in top 4. But let's just turn that around on the live chat and see what you legends are saying. What do you reckon, guys? What do you reckon, guys, in regards to who finishes in the 4th position? Man United, Liverpool, who do you think snatches 4th? Let's just say Newcastle are able to get top 4. Who finishes in that 4th spot? United or Liverpool? I think it's United. We're 4 points ahead of them. We've got 2 games in hand. Do you know what I mean? Like, we'd have to have an almighty crumble job, the likes of which you haven't seen since Liverpool, with Steven Gerrard slipping up against Chelsea and bottling a 3-game advantage at the end of the season, mate, all those years ago. I think we'd have to have that sort of level of bottle up in order to not get top 4 now. So it's almost done, but obviously it's not done until it's done. You heard what Ten Hag said earlier. And, you know, you kind of got to go with what he said. You know, don't take anything for granted. It's not done and dusted yet. Keep your eyes on the prize and let's just keep winning games and focus on the next game. Tomorrow's the next game. Focus on that one. United, you reckon, says Alan Brooks. Yep, Sing Game says United 4th. Berber says our top 4 hopes rest on Rashford and that's bloody terrifying, says Berber. I mean, yes and no. I mean, he's not even scored that many goals recently, has he? I mean, previously he has been fantastic for us this season, but he hasn't scored that many recently, has he? Like in the last game, he didn't score. In the previous games, to be fair, he did create the goal though in the last game against Villa, didn't he? But he has had a little bit of he's dying for a goal actually. So I expect a big result or a big turnaround from him. Not turnaround, a big performance from him tomorrow against Brighton. I expect Rashford to score. But who knows? It's 1-1, I think, is going to be the prediction for the game. So, but yeah, Rashford getting the goal. Michael agrees with me. Vutinator says we've got 94 likes. Nice one, everyone. Thank you for that, Vutinator. Keep smashing that like button. Almost at 100 likes. Nice one. Okay, so yeah, I'm not worried about top 4 anyway, guys. I think we'll get it. Bruno's crucial, says Griffo Chaz. Spot on, agree with you. It's a team end of the day. So there's not any one player we need to rely on between now and the end of the season. It's just the team needs to perform. Doesn't matter if Rashford has a great game if we absolutely fucking crumble job it at the back here. We must stay focused as a team. We must keep our eyes on the top 4. And once that's done, then, you know, great. Then we can rely on some of our big players maybe to do a piece of magic in the FA Cup final or whatever. But certainly, look, it's a team effort between now and the end of the season that is going to get us top 4. So we need the midfield to perform. We need Casemiro, Eriksen, these guys to be on it. And the back line needs to perform, aka a makeshift back line, which has the likes of Luke Shaw and Lindelof playing centre-back for us. So, yeah. But obviously, Rashford is the jewel in the crown for us this season. He's been our player of the season. So I see what you're saying, Don Berber, by saying that, you know, Rashford, we're relying on him. We're relying on him for some goals, definitely. We are relying on him for some goals. But we need the whole team to perform really, really well and just batter those fools. Okay. So let's talk about the form guide going into this game, lads and lasses. So Brighton and Hove Albion, they're 8th in the form guide of the league. They're also, in a similar position in the actual league table. The same position, they're 8th at the moment, but as I say, they do have a few games in hand. Their form's good. They're 8th placed in terms of the form guide. So they drew with Brentford, they beat Bournemouth, they lost to Tottenham, they beat Chelsea, they lost to Nottingham Forest, and they beat Wolves 6-0. That's their last 6 results. So, they're not doing too badly. Manchester United have stepped things up a little bit more recently. We were doing quite poor in sort of February time, but now it's now we've got past the gash 7-0 against Liverpool and the draw against Southampton and some of the bottle job results we've had. And now we're 6th placed in the form guide in the league right now currently. So obviously we're 4th in the league, but we're 6th in the form guide. We lost 2-0 to Newcastle. We beat Brentford 1-0. We beat Everton 2-0. We beat Nottingham Forest 2-0. We drew with Tottenham 2-2, which was a colossal bottle job. We should have easily won that game. That was a misjudgment by Ten Hag in that second half, and we just let the foot off the pedal and we just absolutely let them back into it. It was a crumble job. 1-0 against Villa as well. But those are some good teams we played there. Not bad teams anyway. Villa are a good side. Everton, shite actually. They're not good sides, but whatever. Tottenham we drew with, a bit of a disappointment away from home. But much better form from Manchester United as of late. So going into this game against Brighton, I do feel like we're just on a little bit of an upturn. We're not doing sensational. We've got a slight psychological edge over these Seagulls as well, just because of that FA Cup semi-final. Maybe we don't know. It was only penalties that separated the two sides. And other than that, they know that they can sort of go blow for blow with Manchester United. They created just as many good chances as we did, really. De Gea's had to make a great bunch of saves. So maybe they'll take a lot of solace from that, even though they lost on penalties. They'll take a lot of solace from that. And they're fighting for those top 7 spots. They've got a point to prove. They've got a few games down. I don't know. It's not going to be easy, guys. I am sticking with my 1-1 prediction for the game. 1-1 against Brighton is what I think the final result's going to be there, guys. So in terms of Brighton's team lineup, probably something similar to what we saw against us in the FA Cup semi-final. So something like this. They've got a few players out, though. Moda's out. Lallana's out. Lamptey's out. Sarmiento's out. There's a few players doubtful, like Ferguson and Veltman. But in terms of a lineup for Brighton, it could be looking like something like Steele, Gross, Colwill, Dunk, Estupinan, Caicedo, McAllister, March, Enciso, Mitoma, and Welbeck. And they've been playing well recently, guys. So not an easy game at all. Not an easy game at all. There you go. There you go. Right. So before I get into the live chat, I'm just going to talk about a couple of different topics very quickly that are not to do with the preview. And then we'll get into the live chat to talk about the preview, see what you guys are saying about it very briefly. But let's have a little look at this then. So, reportedly United haven't held any talks with Wout Weghorst over the possibility of him signing on a permanent basis. So reports have come out to say that we haven't really expressed a desire yet to bring him in on a permanent basis. Maybe a little while ago I'd have said, yeah, he would have been decent for a backup sub sort of player. According to the Telegraph, we've not had any discussions with him. Maybe we wouldn't do until, well, maybe we've got new owners sorted out. There's all that up in the air at the moment. But keep or sell Wout Weghorst, guys, in the live chat. I'm not sell, but you know what I mean. Just keep or sell. Let's keep it easy. Keep or sell. Not that we'd be selling him, but keep or sell Wout Weghorst. I say sell. I say just let him go, yeah. I would have previously said maybe he could be a decent backup, but if United are going to have ambition for next season to really challenge for things, we've got to sign a couple of world-class strikers, or at least one world-class striker and another really good striker. I think all that Weghorst has sort of proven over the last couple of months at least, he was okay for us, but the last couple of months, is that he's fucking crap. And he can't score a goal, guys. That's kind of what I feel like he's proven. That's it. He's guff. There you go. He's very disappointing with his abilities to score goals. And that is what you need strikers to do. And he can't really do that for us. So he's still got a couple of years left on a contract at Burnley, right? They've been promoted back to the Premier League, so he's probably going to just go there, isn't he? He was on loan, obviously, at Besiktas before coming to Manchester United, but he's still a Burnley player for a couple of years. We're not going to buy him, are we? We're going to let him go. So he'll probably just go back to Burnley, and yeah, he's a Burnley player. That's about the right standard for him, I think. Not that he's bad. We just needed to get a big lummox, a big body in there. In the end, might as well have just played Scott McTominay up there. Or even Harry Maguire. That's how gash and bang average he has been for us. But he does do some stuff for the team. He has done some stuff. I won't forget his assist for Rashford's goal in the League Cup final. I won't forget that. But You know, he just hasn't really done that much to impress us, has he? Yeah, release him, says Chris Koo. Send him back, says Cody Elder. Absolutely, yeah. So we're going to definitely get rid of that guy, I think, in the summer. I don't think we're going to keep him. And then finally, just a couple of interesting things about the takeover. So reports coming out that Sheikh Jassim bin Ahmad Al Thani will reportedly attempt to sign PSG's Kylian Mbappe if he's successful in completing the takeover of Manchester United. But, you know, of course, Sir Jim Ratcliffe is in there trying to do a deal with the Glazer shithouses. But Sheikh Jassim's understood to make significant transfer funds available if we complete the takeover. And Mbappe would apparently be the leading target for Manchester United if the deal is to go through for Sheikh Jassim. Come on, the Sheikh. Let's go. Mate, that would be absolutely amazing. See, basically, if we get Sir Jim Ratcliffe in the club, there's no way on earth that we're able to bring in a player like Kylian Mbappe in the summer. It just wouldn't happen. But if we are actually able to get Sheikh Jassim in the club with the money they've got, the backing, the connections to PSG and all that sort of stuff, we could quite easily go and do that. And there's also reports coming out this evening to suggest that Camavinga and Kingsley Coman would also be on that list as well for Sheikh Jassim if we were to get him as the new owner. So let's get some Qatari emojis in the live chat, because that's what we want, isn't it? We don't want Sir Jim Ratcliffe coming in anymore, scrimping and saving and just having the Glazers in his back pocket as well and all that shite, and not going out there and spending big to the point that we could. I'd love it. Imagine if we went out there and we signed players like Camavinga and Mbappe and these guys this summer. That would be real ambitious from us. That'd be fantastic. That's what we should be trying to do. So I'm all for it now, guys. Oil me up, baby. I'm ready for the shake. Just wanted to mention that because it's coming out this evening. I mean, it's quite interesting, but, you know, it's speculative stuff, obviously. Speculative stuff. And then also, like I was saying, apparently Sheikh Jassim pledges an additional £800 million as part of Manchester United's takeover bid. This is a report that's come out this evening as well, just to suggest that he's reportedly pledged an additional 800 mil to invest in United's infrastructure as the Qatari banker bids to complete a takeover of the football club. So he would also clear the debt as part of a 100% purchase of Manchester United. And he's apparently pledged a further £800 million for infrastructure since the last sort of, you know, time we spoke anyway. So I would say it's all about Sheikh Jassim, baby. You know what I mean? I mean, this guy, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, doing deals with Glazers, maybe giving them a higher percentage value for what they can get, i.e. not buying as much as the football club, but for the amount of money that he's given them, the percentage-wise, it's working out slightly more. It's very snaky. I don't like it at all. And it's not like we're going to have oodles of cash available, I don't think, if we have Sir Jim as the new owner. So, fuck Sir Jim. Let's go with cheeky little Sheikh Jassim. Guys, who's your backing with? Sheikh Jassim or Sir Jim? Let's have a little vote in the live chat. Let's see what you guys are saying. You feel Qatari today, says Rajat. Oh, yeah. That's true. Yeah, well, Jamie Todd, it doesn't really bother me that much, to be fair. I mean, I would like us to just get good owners who give Manchester United the backing that we need. What pisses me off is that all these owners of other football clubs are able to get their clubs competing with all the top clubs in the world, i.e. Manchester City or Chelsea under Roman Abramovich, and they don't even really deserve it. At least if that happened to Manchester United and we had oil owners or whatnot, we had super rich owners, then at least we would deserve it, because we are a club based on a history, a tradition of winning and success and just great support around the world. So a lot of people saying Qatar, yeah. Yeah, Griffo says neither sit well, to be fair, but I'd go with Sheikh. Yeah, that's it. There's no great, perfect owner for Manchester United right now, sadly. Singame says Jimbo's going to be drawing his pension from the post office if he buys United. Hopefully the Glazers will buy Chelsea and save us from the Bowley clown, says Superfat Frank. Bloody hell. Are you serious? Anyway. Okay then, so there's the latest on that, guys. Let's talk about the game for a few minutes then, folks. I'll get into the live chat now for a few minutes. Do us a favour, smash that like button if you haven't done so. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. If you're here for the first time, get your thoughts and opinions in the live chat. You do need to be subscribed to chat and have your say, but you only need to be subscribed for 0 seconds. So hit the subscribe button if you're new, then you'll be able to have your say and get your questions or thoughts in the live chat. And get yourself subscribing to the channel if you're new. Also, smash that like, as I say, to boost us up there on the YouTube algorithm and help the channel out and help us compete with clickbait wankers and corporation mugs. Yeah, AI Joy says Pig, thoughts on Vigo-looking guy getting guard of honour for breaking a Premier League record? Didn't see that, to be fair, now. I mean, look, all jokes aside, it's not his fault that Manchester are cheating bastards, is it? He's just come in literally in the summer. And what he's done is nothing short of special. It is. So previously, there was a couple of people who were on 34 goals, which I believe was Andy Cole for Newcastle back in the day, and Blackburn Rovers' Alan Shearer. And those guys had managed 34 goals in a season, but they did it in a 42-game season, not a 38-game season. The person who got the most in a 38-game season, I believe, is Mo Salah with 32. So the fact that he's got 35 goals and he's beaten even those guys' records back in there. You think about how prolific Shearer was and how prolific Andy Cole was at Newcastle United. Think about how prolific those guys were. Growing up, those guys were just scoring every single week. And the fact that Erling Haaland has managed to beat them in a shorter season, I mean, it's nothing short of miraculous. And everybody was saying, wow, he's not going to be able to do it. He's coming in from a Farmers League. Yeah, he was getting 29 goals a season, whatever it was over there, but it's a Farmers League. Well, he shut everyone up, to be honest, because he's come over here and he's done it against everybody. He scored a lot of goals. He scored 35, the most ever in history of the Premier League in one single season. You just have to doff your cap to him as an individual player. I don't doff my cap to City. They're a bunch of cheating bastards. I don't even like Pep. I think he's a fucking absolute wank stain who needs the best of the best of the best in order to do his job. He would never be able to do what Sir Alex did at Manchester United at the start of his career, or what Jose did at Porto. He would never be able to do that. So he's a great manager, but he's a great manager with an asterisk. He needs the best of the best of the best in order to do it. Fair enough. He is a great coach, though. The team, it's not their fault. They're a great team. But just their whole vibe is disgusting. They are cheats. They have gamed the system. They have essentially ruined the game and brought it into disrepute by gaining an unfair advantage by simply overspending, yet justifying it by overinflating their income. Everybody knows what they've done, so it's actually disgusting that they're doing that. But you can't really begrudge Erling Haaland for it. And actually, as far as Manchester City wankers go, I mean, from a personality point of view, if he was on your team, if he was a Man United player, if we'd have signed him before he went to Dortmund or before he went to City, we would be absolutely loving him. He seems like a nice fellow, to be honest. That's not often that I would say that about any Man City twat. But to me, he seems all right. So fair play to him is all I'm saying. That's what I was saying. I'm not too big to say he's had an incredible season and he's a great player, and he is. And I'm just gutted that those City wankers have got him. Because if we had him at United, we'd be loving him and he'd be so good for us. And we should have gone and got him before he went to Dortmund. But we didn't have the bollocks to do it. We had the opportunity to do it, but we didn't have the bollocks to do it. It's such a shame. There was that link with Ollie and Molde, and we could have gone and done it, but we didn't do it because our owners are shit, and we didn't want to deal with his agent at the time, who, let's face it, rest in peace, but was a bit of a tosspot to deal with. And at the time, it seemed like they wanted too much money. But in reality, they didn't want too much money because they probably knew what they had on their hands, which is the greatest goal scorer in the current generation of players. And that's what he's going to be. And so we definitely missed out here, just like we missed out on Julian Alvarez or Ruben Dias and all these other players that ended up going to City that we could have signed. So I'm gutted that we didn't sign him, but you just have to take your hat to him and say fair play. He has had an incredible season, and it's the most goals scored by any player in a Premier League campaign, and even a 38 or 42 game campaign. It's insane. So fair play to him. There you go. Sing Game says if Ollie was here, we might have Haaland. I mean, he was here though, and we had the opportunity to get Haaland when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was here. We just had to deal with his agent, who we didn't want to deal with. They wanted a lot of money. I think his agent wanted like 40 mil or 30 mil. Just the agent wanted that money. When we signed Paul Pogba, we had to deal with him as well. We didn't want to have to do that. We didn't want to have to pay that much money to bring in a player who wasn't proven in the Premier League. Now, though, if you could go back and sign him, it would be ridiculous not to sign him before he went to Dortmund. This is before he went to Dortmund, by the way, when we could have signed him. He went to Dortmund instead because they were prepared to pay, the money and do the deal that we were not prepared to pay. And if you actually look back, it's like peanuts, really, for a player of that caliber. So we definitely missed the boat there. We had a nightmare. Sing Game says, I was checking Ollie's first year and Erik ten Hag's first year. Already, Erik ten Hag has lost one more game. Ollie lost 6 only. We have lost 7 already this season. I'm not being blinded with silverware just yet. Hey, fair one. I mean, look, Ten Hag has probably had to battle against it, though. If you think about how bad United were last season, There's a one thing from taking over from Ralph Radnick and Ollie and where we were to take it over from Jose. Yes, we were poor, but they both did well in their early times. Let's face it, Ten Hag's had a very good first season. Ollie had a very good first season and a good second season. It just went downhill from there very quick. Ten Hag's got seems to have a bit more about him in terms of tactical astuteness, though. Although recently he's been making some errors, haven't he? Like inviting opposition teams onto us in the second half of games when we've got a good lead, i.e. that Sevilla game or even that Villa game towards the end, and certainly that Spurs game recently. I don't really like how he's gone about that. So, yeah, but in general, though, he does seem to do well with his selections. Like, he does a lot of interesting things. Like, he does a lot of sensible things, and he does curious things, such as playing players out of position, but getting the best out of them. They seem to do well there when he plays them out of position, i.e. Luke Shaw at centre-back, or Bruno dropping deeper, or Bruno out wide, or Weghorst in the centre-forward position, or in behind the striker. You know, he actually does have this ability to see things, and I think he's got a bit of a magic eye. You know, a bit of a magic eye. So I do trust Ten Hag. But yeah, let's not forget, Ollie was really good for a while. Exactly, Prem. All Woodward did was set us back for a decade. Spot on. Not too bad, Jeff Madrak. Yeah, feeling a little bit better, mate. Thanks for asking, bud. Still having to take painkillers all day, every day. But other than that, not too bad, mate. Teams were less of that today. Competition was less as boomy. Okay, fair enough. So that's a good point, actually. So if you go back and look at comparing Erling Haaland to players like Andy Cole or Alan Shearer, you are right in the sense that it was harder to score goals back in the early 90s or mid-90s or late 90s. It was harder to score goals then than it was now. I think that's fair. Yeah, there's good competition in the league, but the referees allow strikers more, don't they? Like, defenders were allowed to put in these horrible tackles back in the day. They're allowed to put in these rough tackles. They're allowed to be more physical. There wasn't VAR to come back and penalise you either, so you could get away with a sly dig and stuff like this. You could kick the opposition a lot more. Basically, it was just way tougher for 90s strikers in the Premier League to score goals than it is for modern day strikers because of that. And also the standard of defending, I think, back in the 90s, maybe this is people like to say, oh, like a nostalgia thing, or this is just because you grew up in that era why you think this. But I generally do think that defenders were just better back in the 90s than they are now. Yeah, you've still got some great defenders, but I mean, you're looking around the league and who's considered the best defenders around right now? I mean, City's defenders are good. Yeah, some people say Virgil van Dijk. He's had a shite season, but if you're comparing Dickhead to people like, you go back in the day, you got Arsenal's defence of the 90s was always insanely tough to play against. It was so good. People like Tony Adams and Sol Campbell and they had Dixon and Winterburn and these guys. And then, and also fucking, what's his face? Keown even. They were physical and they were strong and they kicked the shit out of you. And then you had like, United's defenders back in the day, people like Rio and Vidic, or before that, Bruce and Pane. Those guys, Irwin and Paul Parker and these guys, they were just so much more physical and so much more better than most of the players around today. That's just the truth. You can't get away from it. Shout out to Rio Ferdinand, who was inducted into Premier League Hall of Fame, by the way. But yeah, I mean, if you had calibers of players like that playing in the centre-back positions for, even if you go back and look at a lot of other teams throughout the leagues, they all have very physical, tough defenders. Not so much these days. So therefore, I think it's just easier to be a modern-day striker than it was back in the 90s, coming up against more physical, better 90s defenders. They were tougher, they were stronger, they could get away with more dodgy tackles, they were more physical. It was just a totally different kettle of fish. So 90s defenders, way tougher to play against than modern day defenders. Smash a 1 if you agree with that statement. Smash a 6 if you disagree and you just think it's some sort of nostalgia bias going on there. Let us know. But I honestly do think that the 90s defenders were so much better and so much tougher than modern day defenders. Maybe it's just because they could get away with more in the game. That was grit defending. Exactly, Rashak. Yeah, loads of ones coming in the live chat. So many ones. Hey, Habib Garouch. Much love to you, bro. How you doing? Yeah, precisely. Sin Game says 100% defenders would snap you in the 90s. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And they get a yellow card. Whereas now, they get a straight red for some of the challenges they got away with then. It's like I was watching, there was a clip the other day that I just saw. It happened to pop up on TikTok or whatever. And it just was, it was the first time Wayne Rooney met Cristiano Ronaldo. And it was when Rooney was playing for Everton and Ronaldo was obviously at United. And Ronaldo's pissing everybody off in that game. He's just taking the piss out of them with his tricks and stuff over on the left side of the pitch. Wayne Rooney comes back. He's had enough. And he just fucking snaps Ronaldo. He snaps him. Doesn't even go for the ball. Just wraps his leg around and just fucking snaps him. That's the first time Rooney and Ronaldo met, right? Or played against each other. And Rooney playing for Everton. And you look at that challenge. You look at the fact that it's off the ball. I mean, that would be a straight red now. But he just got a yellow card for it. You know, like it was different back in the day. You could get away with a lot more stuff. Now you can't. Yeah, Rio would pummel Haaland. Yeah. Imagine Haaland trying to do this against the likes of Rio and Vidic. He would still score goals. His movement's great. He's a big physical lad himself. He's obviously a great striker, but he would score less goals in a 90s Premier League than he would in this current era. I'm sure of it. Vinnie Jones in today's games at Red. Okay, exactly. He would just be sent off every game, wouldn't he? Roy Keane would be sent off a lot. A lot of the players, well, he was sent off a lot. A lot of the players would be sent off a lot back then. It just was part of the game. Scott says the game was slower then, but more physical. Don't forget Graham Souness as Jeff Madrid. Well, he was just a snapper, wasn't he? He just snapped people in the middle of the park. Yeah, he was a filth bag. What a dirty player. It's like teams used to have enforcer players. I mean, he's a good player as well. It's like Keane and Souness and these guys. They were very good players as well as being tough and snappy and dirty players. But they were fundamentally good players as well. But yeah, you used to have an enforcer in your team who was a player like Vinnie Jones for Wimbledon or whoever. I mean, to be honest, Wimbledon's whole team were a bunch of dirty bastards, weren't they? But you would have an enforcer type player who's in the middle of the park just to snap people, just to go and stick one on a striker or a winger or something, let them know they're there, and just try and kick them a little bit throughout the game. You used to have an enforcer in the game. You don't really have that these days. Yeah, Dale says Haaland's a class player as much as I'm not into City. He pisses on all strikers. Yeah, you know. Berserker, thank you so much for gifting us a membership and becoming a member yourself tonight. Again, Berserker, long-time legend you are, sir. He says, see you for the match, work time. Thank you, Berserker, for getting in, you legend. Appreciate you. Yeah, Dennis Wise was a filthy bastard. Solskjaer, I mean, they all were, to be honest. Fashion you was dirty. They all were. They all kick you. If Luke Shaw performs tomorrow, he deserves to order a Frey Bentos at 4:44 at 5 a.m. I agree, Andy Young, definitely. Primot, you legend, what's going on? Barton gave City the title getting that red card. I know, I truly despise that guy as well. How dare he do that, mate? Literally, they were up they're up 2-0. And Barton just loses his head and gives them the title. I wouldn't be surprised if you had a bet on those twats to win. Wayne says, are we doing a FIFA stream later? We're not actually, mate. Dutch Christ says, letting in at least 2 in all 7 of those matches. Brighton are in scoring form with 14 goals in their last 4 home league games. They dominated the ball when these two sides met at Wembley last month. Yeah, no, it's not going to be easy, is it, Dutch Christ? Great comment. It's going to be very, very difficult indeed. Hey, we got 149 legends. Let's get 149 likes on the stream. Please do smash that like button if you haven't done so. Give us a massive thumbs up for this preview. Going to read a couple more comments out, guys. And we are doing a GTA stream on the gaming channel tonight in a minute. So here it is right here. There's the link for it, guys. Make sure you subscribe to Flying Pig Gaming. If you're not subscribed to Flying Pig Gaming, you're having a mare. Go over there and subscribe to Flying Pig Gaming where we do gaming streams. We're playing on Xbox Series S. If you're on the Series S or X and you've got the next-gen version of the game, you can come and play with us. GTA stream, baby. Okay, let's read a couple more of your comments out. Red Devil says, Casemiro is quite tough, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, he is. He gets stuck in. He likes a challenge. He leaves a leg in sometimes. True. He would be at home. There's still some players who I guess you consider to be a midfielder and enforcer, but you can't get away with it as much now. Case in point, the fact he's had bloody 3 red cards or whatever it for us this season. Is it 2 or 3? He's whatever it is. He's had a lot of incidents where he's been carded, and he hasn't been able to get away with it at all because the modern game is soft. It's so soft you can't just kick players these days. I mean, a lot of those challenges that Casemiro had committed this season, the one in particular where he was a bit late and his foot's gone over the ball, they sent him. I can't even remember the game now, but you know the one. The second time he got the red card, which led to a 4-game ban, that one. That might have not even been a yellow card back in the day. And if it was penalised, it would have just been a yellow card back in the 90s. But these days, it's a red. These days, they've got VAR. They look at all the angles. They go, oh, shit, that looks a lot worse than it actually was. You know, and they give a red. 13 likes on the GTA video already. That's brilliant, Corey Elder. Those damn seagulls have been a problem for us lately. Yeah, I'm concerned as well, Jeff. Well, let's just end with predictions for the game for anybody who's just getting in here. My prediction is 1-1. I do think it's going to be a 1-1 draw. I don't want to be pessimistic, but they're a good side. They proved that against us the other day. Like Dutch Christ has said with his statistics, coming in here with his recent comments there in the chat, you can see they are in decent form, and they're a good tough side, especially at home. So it will not be an easy game. Will not be an easy game. I still expect us to beat them. Yeah, Griffo says, come hang out if you want to see Pig embarrass again. Are you playing, are you, Griffo Chaz? Bring it on, son. 4-2, let's go, says Sing Games. 2-2, says Super Fat Frank. 2-1, says Simon Warner. Oh, by the way, Sing Games, I saw it. I'll send you a link. There was you can get a refurbished Xbox Series S for like 140 quid or something I saw earlier. That's pretty decent, mate. Come and play GTA with us, lad. 8-0 to United, says K Cadet. Go on. 2-2, says Lewis Eraser. 1-0, says Boomy. 2-1, says Dale. Dutch Christ with a 3-month member comment. Get in there. Thank you for being a member 3 months, bro. He says 1-1 United or 2-1 to Brighton. Right, okay. Fair enough, Dutch Christ. 4-1 says Ending Morale. Thank you. Let's get a hashtag 3 in there for Dutch Christ. Thank you, brother. 3 says Solskjaer. Yeah, maybe we will do Griffo Chaz. Premot says 2-0, but if Slabby plays 2-2. 2-1 says Jeff Madrak, or 2-2 draw. A lot of people going for the draw. Yeah, I'm feeling the draw. I mean, I'm not feeling the draw, but that's why I think it's going to be realistic. I think Rashford's going to score for us. 2-1 says Rajat. Away from home 3-2 for one of them 5-goal games, says Mark P. Brighton win. We are shit away from home, says Johnny Gals. Be a good game, says Dale. Indeed. Okay then, folks. Well, that's the end of the preview, guys. Thank you for watching this preview. A bunch of legends. Hey, Purplus, what's going on, lad? Here is the link to the GTA stream once again in the chat. We're going to start this and give me about 5 minutes or so. It's going to make another coffee here. Decaf. I have to drink decaf these days because caffeine fucking makes me feel ill. How gash is that? But anyway, going to have some decaf coffee. Going to make a quick decaf coffee. And then I'm going to get on and do a GTA stream on the gaming channel, Flying Pig Gaming. So there is the link right there, pinned to the top of the live chat. I'm going to wrap this video up. Make sure you smash a like on this video. Hit the subscribe button if you're new. Remember, we are doing a watch along for the game tomorrow, starting at 7:30 p.m, which is already set up. You can go smash a like on that one as well if you want. But do go over to the GTA stream on the gaming channel and watch that if you want, or just smash a like on it even if you're not going to watch it. That'll help us out. And give it a share around, and smash a share and a subscribe on this channel as well, Flying Pig United, for your latest United news in a no bullshit, no clickbait way. Okay, Aaron, nice one, mate. I'll check that out. Are you playing with us on GTA tonight, bro? Thank you, Sing Games. Thank you, Lewis Eraser, Griffo Chaz as well, Chris Koo, the Vootinator, Dutch Christ, Johnny Gallagher, all the mods, all the members of the channel in green as well. Thank you very much. Redemption Game. Come on, Marky P. Let's go. Chris Koo as well, you legend, and the Hoop Man, and Simon, and Primot, and everyone. T-Mill. That's it for the preview. Come back after this video is finished, though, and get your thoughts and opinions in the not live comments on your team lineup. Always love to see who you guys think will be selected in the game, and also your predictions. Come back and get your scoreline, your goal scorers in there as well, in the not live comments after the video. Oh, okay, no worries, Aaron. Well, thanks for watching, bud. Cheers, Kate Cadet. Thank you, bud. Thank you, Madhouse, Jeff Madarant, Chris Coop, Benjamin Turner, Mikhail Kramer. Good night to you. God bless, my friend, and Pete Morris as well. No worries, my friend. And everybody else, Hoop Man, thank you, guys. All the members, all the mods, and everyone. Thanks for chatting, guys. That's it from me. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Twitch at Flying Pig United, and Kick as well. All of the links in the live chat, in the description, I should say. And check out the gaming channel, Flying Pig Gaming, where we're going to be back on in 5 minutes' time for a cheeky bit of GTA right here. Thanks for watching, everyone. That's it from me. God bless you. Come on, United. Smash up those seagull melts. And remember, when the seagulls follow the trawler, as this is because they sink, sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much.